Currently, there are 183 World Natural Heritage Sites. The Kvarken Archipelago, situated off the coast of Vasa, is one of them. The area was added to the UNESCO World Heritage List in 2006. The Kvarken Archipelago, together with the high coast in Sweden, forms a unique natural heritage site. It's a geological complex where you can witness the ongoing glacio-isostatic uplift. The rocky road is not just a metaphor in the Kvarken Archipelago. You can literally feel it in every step of the way. The ice sheet is estimated to have been more than 3 kilometers thick during the last ice age. When the glacier began to retreat and the pressure eased off the crust of the earth, the land started to uplift and continues to do so at an annual rate of 9 millimeters. This prehistoric era and the continuous change is evidence in the stony prehistoric shores and Tegea washboard moraines, in its overgrowing bays and rocks that rise from the sea and cause nuisance for the sea traffic. Around 2,000 people live in the Kvarken Archipelago World Heritage Site. The local municipalities have a population of around 100,000. Close cooperation with Sweden has influenced the area's heritage. For example, the area's language, which is Swedish. Man has always left his mark on the land. This historic stone-lined labyrinth, Jättolintala, remains in the ground as an example of this. The changing landscape and the sea have also had an impact on people's livelihoods. The people of the Kvarken have always been dependent on the sea and its produce. Fishing is still a visible part of everyday life in the Kvarken Archipelago. Perch, whitefish, herring and salmon are caught from the sea in large numbers, at least for now. In the past, the Kvarken also provided our ancestors with a living in the form of seal hunting. If you're lucky, you may still encounter seals. Sheep farming is an important part of the local economy. In the islands, you can hear the sea and the birds, but you might also hear the sound of distant bells of grazing sheep. The sea has always been used as a means of transport. The old maritime jobs are disappearing, but many traces of past professions still exist, such as the lighthouses and keepers' homes. The annual summer tradition, or Post Row from Björkby in Finland to Holmön in Sweden commemorates one of the 17th century professions of carrying mail and transporting officials across the Kvarken archipelago. This was by no means an easy job, considering that the rowers were at the mercy of the ever-changing weather conditions. Today, passenger and cargo traffic at the Kvarken is handled by daily ship departures in the world's northernmost year-round shipping route. The ancient Roman architect Vitruvius summed up great architecture in 3 words: durability, practicality, and beauty. It is highly unlikely that the old islanders were aware of the ideas of an ancient architect. Despite this, they knew how to build buildings that were practical, durable, beautiful, and met their specific requirements in this rocky coastal landscape. New houses are also built in dry moraine areas, often in keeping with the old building traditions. Björkby is one of the most famous islands of the Kvarken archipelago. The island's only village, Björkby, was chosen as the Village of the Year in 2000. The island's old fishing harbour, Svedjehamn, with its beautiful buildings, has become a landmark for the Kvarken and a part of the cultural landscape of the World Heritage. The rising archipelago is continually changing, and new islands emerge from the sea all the time. An island's age can be estimated by its vegetation. The area's nature is very diverse, and it shows its visitors how the last ice age still affects the nature today, how lakes evolve from bays, overgrown, and eventually develop into marshes. For example, here in Valasaari, you can discover various habitats when you move from the shoreline to inland. An old stone bridge built by our ancestors reminds us of the past water levels. When land emerges from the sea, the first plants to colonize the land are various coastal species. The land continues to rise. Years go by, and after the first vegetation, new species such as meadowsweet, common sea buckthorn, and alder appear. Next to arrive are birch and rowan. The rising archipelago, with its rich flora, is a plant enthusiast's and even a professional horticulturalist's paradise. You can easily spend a summer's day in the fresh sea air, in the middle of this colorful floral splendor, just watching and listening. The Kvarken archipelago is one of the most important bird areas in Finland, especially during the migrating season, because the area is located on the migration route. Birds thrive here. Reeds, shoals, and rocky islets provide sheltered and safe nesting and feeding grounds. Also, human activities like bird counting and restrictions during the nesting season safeguard the success of the region. And even white-tailed eagles have returned to this area as a result of the valuable conservation work. The water depth in the Kvarken archipelago is only around 25 meters. New rocks appear on the horizon in places where a few years back, you could easily sail a boat. With good reason, and backed by various bad experiences of boaters, you can say that the Kvarken is an area for dangerous underwater shoals and emerging rocks. This also explains the abundance and the need for the lighthouses. The rising landscape of the Kvarken Archipelago has its advantages and disadvantages for the local people. New land emerges all the time, but using it for farming is difficult. The land uplift has revived the local travel industry. Nowhere else can you experience such a beautiful, rugged landscape. The other industries in the area have had to adjust to the land uplift. For example, the current port of Vasa has already moved its location numerous times. Many of nature's miracles happen in the archipelago throughout the year. The spring is possibly the biggest of them all. The sea is ice-free. Flora and fauna come back to life, and birds migrate back to the north. The light. Exciting times. Birds fill the islands during the summer months. Wind is light and fresh, and you can smell the sea and fresh fish. Here you can sense something eternal. The mind can rest. In the autumn, the archipelago's forests are full of nature's produce. Sunset paints the rocky archipelago and the calm sea with most wonderful colors. And birds gather together before winter migration. Just before the autumn storms start, the sea fog sweeps in, covering the islands and buildings. The archipelago's nature rests during the winter. The sea is asleep under the ice and snow. Nature quietens down. A white-tailed eagle glides in the sky, searching for food. For people, winter is full of diverse activities. fresh and clean environment of the archipelago has convinced many visitors to choose the World Heritage Site as their holiday destination. 2 years ago, Metsähallitus, the administration of forests, built an observation tower in the area, where you can see the uplift and the washboard-like moraine archipelagos. Let's take a short trip and start from the heart of the World Heritage Site and Svedjehamn Harbour. Excellent nature trail signs, trained heritage guides and professional boaters take you to places you want to see. Now, let's turn our compass and head towards islands.
Kungarna var stränga att bära in skatter och bönderna som kom till kungen och klagade att
We have now served you with a few World Heritage treats, but we still have one treat left. Local delicacies served by Kalle's Inn, which is located near the center of the Kvarken archipelago.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Today we serve whitefish and salmon sourced from the Klubskat fishing harbor nearby. Flamed fillet of elk with cranberry sauce. And for dessert, we have the archipelago's special delicacy, buckthorn berries. Enjoy.